We're going to come right back with comedian Ron Osborne in just a moment. Right now, check out a little PSA of Ron Osborne.
This is Earth. This is Portland, Oregon. Just to the north of Portland, nestled in the woods on the Salmon Creek, you can find Quiet Acres, the sprawling estate of Ron Osborne. Ron made his fortune as a stand-up comedian, winning the prestigious Seattle International Comedy Competition and performing for our troops overseas. As an actor, he's appeared in over 100 commercials, like The Trunk Monkey, and has trained in improv, writing, character, and sketch with the world-famous Groundlings in Los Angeles. But the secret to his success has been hard work and clever negotiation. Ron is also a rugged outdoorsman who enjoys working on his land, barbecuing with friends, and tossing in a line every once in a while, as well as primitive fishing. Nice try, Ron. A certified yoga master, trained at the Shivananda Yoga Vedantic World Headquarters, Ron takes care of his body, mind, and spirit. He eats healthy organic bananas while dressed in a suit, enjoys running in the forest, doing unassisted pull-ups, and for fun, he plays frisbee and hacky sack. Ooh, good one, Ron. Ron is also an avid reader of philosophy who meticulously showers his body at least once each and every day. Most mornings, you can find Ron at the water's edge, contemplating for hours with a stick in his hand, looking at the clouds for inspiration. He also enjoys singing with friends and burning sage. Aho, matakwiyase! Some of his friends include babies and senior citizens. Ron also volunteers at homeless shelters, helping junkies kick the smack. With such a balanced and well-rounded lifestyle, is it any wonder that Ron Osborne is one of the most sought-after performers in the country today? Hi everybody, it's me, Ron. I just wanted to take a quick second to personally invite you to
watch all of my humorous videos on YouTube, free of charge.
So, don't forget that
you can hire me to perform. Visit website for more information.
All right, well, I hope to see you guys there. Have a great day. Anybody fooling? Anybody feel that fooling?
We're back, and we're back on the show. Thank you for staying tuned in. I have one of my favorite comedians and a good friend. He's done the Dope Show before when I did the Dope Show here in Portland with Jeffrey Peterson. He's called in a few times on Normal Show Live. Great character actor. He's been on certain shows as Grimm and Leverage recently. And I'd like to welcome to the show Ron Osborne.
Well, hi, Terry.
Hi.
Thank you. I've been on an audition for Grimm.
I
haven't been on Grimm yet.
You haven't booked Grimm yet.
I was on Leverage.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was
on
Leverage.
Right. So Ron, you are, we've worked together a few times. I think you're a very funny comedian.
Yeah, and I don't know how I'm going to follow DeJay, because she was funny. I was watching that going, how am I going to follow that? Big laughs with her.
Right,
that was
right.
Good stuff.
Well, DeJay's not really a comic. She's just
She's a natural then.
Right,
she
really?
should
Yeah,
be.
She should be. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll definitely give her the tell her to that you endorse her. So now you are an interesting comedian. You've done stand up, but you also are involved with yoga. You teach yoga.
Yes.
Yes. And so how long have you been a yoga instructor?
Well, I've been doing comedy for 27 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been doing yoga for 28 years. Started before I did comedy.
Oh.
And actually, I've been doing it my whole life because I think people, especially in the West, they think yoga, it's stretching exercises. That's such a tiny little part of it. Yoga means union, to yoke. So union with God or fill in your blank.
Right.
You know, so God, it's one of those loaded terms, you know,
Uh-huh.
God. Because everyone has a different name for God. But it's when people get caught up in this idea that, okay, say you're in a desert and you're dying of thirst, water, water, and someone goes, agua? You don't go, whack! Get that agua out of my face! I want water!
Right.
So it's just semantics. It's the same thing. Water is agua. It's the same thing. So union with that, capital T.
Union. Okay, so now would you say that your yoga influences your comedy, or does is there a melding of the two worlds for you?
It's weird, you know, because they're such different things. But I found the longer that I've been doing comedy, the more the yoga comes onto the stage, especially when it comes from in here, because I'm more peaceful now and I have that quiet inside point, so that my intent when I do a comedy show is, of course, to get laughs, but at the same time there's an underlying thing, which is kind of putting out that light, you know, that channeling that idea through there, because laughter is happy, you know, it's a good thing. You know, some comedians are, you know, very negative. You know,
Angry.
what I hate?
Yeah.
Everything. It's like, hey, man, you can even say I hate everything, but have the idea of shining the laughter out there, and so that's a union.
Well, you can't. I mean, I believe that you can bring a light to whatever you're talking about, even if the subject matter is something not quite as socially acceptable, or is pointing out a certain flaw that's going on in our society, or maybe something that even is rather difficult for people to even look at.
Right.
It's the shining of the light that makes it better. So now you have a little keyboard here, and I didn't know that you actually played.
I do
stuff.
a little kirtan.
You do. Okay.
It's call and response Sanskrit chanting. But I can also do some Catholic songs on here too, or some Muslim songs or Hebrew songs. It's when people get hung up on here. Okay, have you played that game, Telephone, where you whisper, you know, something in a circle and it goes all the way around?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. By the time it gets around that circle of the world, it's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We're all talking about the same thing. Where it's just people want to fight about, oh, I call it this and you call it that. It's just like comedians who are like, well, if you want to be a comedian, you need to write 3 hours a day and you need to do this, and that's like, no. You need to write 3 hours a day. You need to do this, and this. You don't need to convert me to your religion. Well, maybe you do need to convert me to your religion to feel better, because people aren't sure what they're doing with, you know, things like abstract things like comedy or religion and these sort of things. So when they have a faith or a belief that might not be founded in like some pure fact, if they're really just throwing out the faith and the belief, it kind of is scary if others aren't believing it, because that's like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Well, now I'll have to kill everyone who doesn't believe me, you know, jihad or crusade.
Well, you know, and I think that real growth actually really happens when you ask yourself that question. You go, oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm not like really, because like what is really wrong or right anyways? I mean, a lot of times it's like if you believe something, then obviously to you it's true.
Yeah.
And yet if you said, well, there's one belief system that, you know, obviously works for some people, but you know, maybe over here there's another way of looking at something, and that also has truth as well. One thing I've noticed for myself, I like especially like with the Beatles, you know, I think that the Beatles were one of the first people musically that brought the sound of India to rock and roll,
Right.
with George Harrison like working with the sitar and stuff like this.
Right.
I'm finding myself more and more drawn to Indian culture and Sanskrit. So like, would you play like a little you know, something
Okay.
you know that would be kind of
Very good.
Oh, thank
Have you
you.
heard Namaste?
yes.
You know what that means?
The light that I see in you is the light that I see in myself.
Right, roughly, or the
Reckoning.
Christ in me acknowledges the Christ in you. That would be a Christian way to interpret it.
I like the other way. I'm more comfortable. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't believe in Christianity. Well,
Right.
but
But again, there
like
it is. It's semantics. It's
Right.
because people do get uncomfortable with a different type of language. Like, I prefer to call it this, or I prefer
Yeah.
to call the unnameable thing without any form,
The abyss.
this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey man, we're just anything we can name, because there's a big yoga thing. They call it neti neti. Not this, not that. So anything that I can say, if I'm trying to I'm not sure how to conjugate that, but I'm trying to anthropomorphize God, and it's like, well, anything I can say, well, God is this. No, that can't be it, because I'm putting a human thing on it.
Right.
So,
is Rupert Deglaro making symbols right
Rupert?
now too?
Is that his name?
Yeah. Rupert.
He does not look like a Rupert. But all these names are signposts. And they're in the Lord's Prayer, it says, "Hallowed be thy name." That means the name is holy. There's
Okay,
it's too holy to even say. We're
Ryan,
just pointing to it.
You know what I heard about like the Lord's Prayer?
What?
That it comes from an ancient religion called the religion of Mu. Which is
Mu?
from M-U,
okay.
which is like basically what they say Christ was really teaching was the language of Mu, which was from the not the Atlantean time, but the Lemurian. If there's some people who believe that particular time period didn't really exist, but there was a society of Lemurians that and so the
Lemurs?
Lemurs, yeah, like the little
running
animal,
around with little hands,
yeah. Little hands and going but they basically that was like the Lord's Prayer actually derived from that particular civilization. That's what I read recently.
And wherever it did come from, what's the idea behind it? Because I went to Catholic school, so Hail Mary, Little Grace, you're just doing it, right?
The music.
Yeah.
Hey, play a Catholic song.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Okay, I'll have to switch to an organ. Wait. Dun, dun. Wait, one more down. There it is. Oh, yeah. Let's see. In heaven the blessed your glory proclaim. On earth we your children invoke your sweet name. Ave, Ave, Ave Maria. Ave, Ave Maria. Mary. Mother of Jesus, symbolic. Rupert wants to hear Amazing Grace.
Really?
Amazing Grace. I'd have to practice it. I don't know how to read music. I just play by
ear.
Yeah,
by
yeah.
ear.
Okay, here's a Sanskrit one for you, right?
All right.
Wait, back down to the. You had to go to harmonium. Triambakam yajamahe sugandim pushtivaranam varukamiva bandhanam mrityor mukshim amritat. Join me now. Triambakam yajamahe sugandim pushtivaranam varukamiva bandhanam mrityor mukshim amritat. One more time. Triambakam yajamahe sugandim pushtivaranam varukamiva bandhanam mrityor mukshim amritat. There's a lot more. But you know this part probably. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Om Bolo Satguru Shivananda Maharaja Ki Jai. Om Bolo Swami Vishnu Devananda Maharaja Ki Jai. All right.
Oh man, I already feel better.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to add. So our subject matter today, and this is why I want to, because I felt something from you. I go, who am I going to call to do this show that would be willing to be experimental about different religions and spirituality, and also include the possibility of mushrooms and cannabis, and because the Indians, from India. I'm talking about like India.
Oh, right.
They also included cannabis, like I don't know if
right, like Shiva, you see him smoking.
Yeah,
the ganj.
and for enlightenment, which So I mean, how do you feel about that particular topic?
Well, according to yoga, drugs are another thing to get you trapped and wrapped up in this whole thing.
Okay.
Because people can have these mind-opening experiences, but it's just another distraction. So because, for example, like in yoga, they say if you do meditation and all these sort of things, that you will get these powers. They call them siddhis. S-I-D-D-H-I-S, I believe. But they say, don't take the siddhis. If you have the powers to do these different powers because you've meditated so much, they say, don't use it because you're going to get wrapped up and then you have more desires and you want to come back to have another life on Earth. And that's the same way with these drugs that we're using. We're seeing different things, but it's still part of the Maya, or the illusion, which is not a negative thing. It's also the Leela, which is the play of God. So even though it's an illusion, it's still play. So we're playing when we do some drugs or something like that. We're still playing around in the field, you know, which we're in the field, but that is beyond the field.
But what if you, okay, let's say for instance, like meditation takes you there, dancing takes you there,
Yeah.
certain, you know,
Golf
you know,
for some
I mean,
people, yeah.
maybe golf, you know, I mean, like can get you into this particular eye-opening experience, the zone
Yeah.
of what that is. What if you were to use it just, okay, what if the plants existed just to like kind of like create that opening for people who maybe not have had that experience? Once you have the experience or you use it for the specific reasons sometimes, not to become a person who becomes like addictive or abusive to the particular plant that they are using these particular things to be a part of. And you're raising your hand like, oh, I'm like one of those people, you know. I mean,
no, in that case, okay, I'll come back to that because I always take things, once we get into the yoga subject, I always go to the ultimate, to the infinite, you know. I'm taking it to the next level. Because there's another big thing in yoga, they call it Vedantic philosophy, because the Vedas are these very holy books that the Hindus have. But they say once you get to a point when you're enlightened, Vedanta means the end of the Vedas. You don't need them anymore. There was this one guy, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, and they would say, what about the Bible? What about the Quran? What about the Vedas? What about all these books? He says, throw them in the garbage. You don't need them anymore. You need them to get there to a point, you know, because when you have a map to get somewhere, you need a map to get somewhere, but once you're there, you don't need the map anymore.
Right. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can see that philosophy.
So, like, I won't take acid ever again. I did it when I was young, because it's like, okay, I know where that's at.
Right.
I know how to get there. It's weird sometimes, you know. Shrooms, I would do some shrooms again, I think. I rarely will do that. And cannabis, I'm a medical marijuana patient in Washington.
I have just recently done some mushrooms about a couple weeks ago.
I'm going to say just a couple hours ago. You're holding it together. Great.
Thank you. I'm good, aren't I? No, I did.
Your lizard friend is not being so cool. Can you take it down a notch?
No, that freaks me out. All right. On that note, we're going to take a break and show another reel of the wonderfully talented, charming Ron Osborne, and then we'll be back
well
with
throw that in there.
and he's well hung.
I'm proportionate to my height.
Okay, so now I can't think anymore. The visual was not good. Especially, I'm not sure. He's wearing this thing. I mean, are you commando or what?
No,
you got pants on.
I'm
You got
okay.
pants on.
I got
Okay.
pants.
All right. I'm like,
for now.
Where's my glasses? I mean, well.
What kind of show
right,
is this? We can
yeah. Well, anyway.
get some ratings on this baby.
Well, it is internet. So we will come back with Ron Osborne after more Ron Osborne.